Re- So as you all know, we've been kind of moving up the subtle channels of the body. We've been doing a sequence of kind of exploring the chakras, starting at the root and moving upward. And today we're going to move into Anahata chakra, which is the heart chakra. And I think I mentioned this chakra probably more than any others on the regular because it is, I think, such a profound way of our being in the world, our relating in the world. The heart is the center of it's the middle of the chakras. So there's seven chakras, and the heart is the fourth. So it's the center, and it really is this confluence between our earthen selves, our more physical, material selves, and our more spiritual, ethereal selves. So it's kind of like the confluence of the two, which I think is a really beautiful way to think about the heart chakra. Um, when we have a open and free energy field in this way, we feel a deep sense of openness and we feel a deep sense of the capacity to be vulnerable without it being super scary. The open heart is a courageous heart, but also one that's not uh, fearful of being hurt. So the the root word anahata means unstruck, that which cannot be harmed. So if you think about the purest element of ourselves, our pure sense of love that cannot be altered or harmed based on the trials and traumas that we experience in our life. So when we are feeling this sense of spaciousness in this part of our body, we feel content, we feel at ease, we feel a sense of connection, deep connection to and meaningful connections to both ourselves and to others. And we feel worthy of self-love, worthy of other people's love. We're capable of forgiveness. We have just a deep sense of connection to humanity itself. So what a beautiful thing, right? And it's also when we're in balance here, we can be free of expectation and free of attachment in the sense of like attachment in the sense of I do something for you, therefore you do something for me. So that aspect of unconditional love that we don't have to have conditions to our relationships. And when we feel off balance, this is where the challenges in our relationships can come. We can feel closed. We can not like to be vulnerable. We can have a sense of, when we're in a vulnerable situation, we get tough and unemotional. But we can also be kind of like hyper emotional and not have a lot of balance, but like we don't feel regulated. We can also have a sense of over dependency or under dependency. So our sense of interdependence gets murky, where we either attach too much or can't attach at all. We have a sense of blocked energy, where we maybe don't feel like our feelings don't arise well, or a sense of detachment or distance from our emotional states. We can have a lack of trust. We can have a fear of rejection. I mean, there's just so many aspects to us kind of guarding this part of our bodies or blocking this part of our bodies that can hinder our well-being on so many levels. So it's really important for us to open this place and kind of tend to our heart space on the regular. And then of course the physicality of it too. This chakra governs our heart, it governs our lungs, it governs our thymus gland, part of our immune system. So, there's a lot. It also governs just the general sense of pranic flow in our body. So think of, this is the area of the lungs where we're taking in most of our prana. So when we want to tend to our heart chakra, of course, back bends, things that keep the heart open. And this is really important on the regular. We always do a back bend or two in our practice, because we spend so much time kind of hunkered down and collapsed in the space with all the ways we use our bodies through the day. But also just to maintain that courageous open heart. So heart openers for sure, and also breath work, this sense of making sure that we're filling the space, we're bringing the fullness of prana into our beings, and also releasing it. So having a really healthy rhythmic flow of breath, being able to open ourselves to breath and accept, is a really important part of keeping this chakra open. And then loving kindness practices, it could be simple acts of kindness that you experience through the day, holding the door open for somebody, helping somebody, just the spontaneous offerings of the heart that we can experience through the day. If we're tending to this place and we feel open, we're much more likely to offer from the heart than if we are collapsed and condensed and stuck in this part of our body. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and come to a comfortable seat and find a good posture. And notice, a lot of times when we sit, we in the beginning we have this nice big open heart, and then like within 30 seconds or so we start collapsing. So throughout your practice today, try to have an awareness of what's happening in this part of your body. And let's remember that the back of us is equally as important as the front for the heart space, where this, expanding in all directions. It's not just sticking your chest up and out. Okay. All right. So close your eyes and drop down into your body and your breath. Okay. So as you come here into the inner world, what's the very first thing you notice? And let's attune to the breath. See if you can allow the breath to just come in a little more deeply, a little more fully. When you sense your breath moving in, can you kind of become aware of the entirety of your ribs moving and the entirety of both sides of your lungs, opening and welcoming the prana, welcoming the breath? And as you notice your breathing, pay attention to where you might find a spot in your lungs that is a little hesitant to receive, or a little hesitant to release the breath. And see if you can just welcome in all this spaciousness, open windows, open doors, big, spacious room without a lot of clutter. There's all this room to breathe. Try to see if you can sense the relationship of your lungs and heart, your actual physical lungs and heart. They're so intimately connected. It's not a surprise that they are right next to each other in our bodies. The air we take in, it has a direct line of connection to the heart through the pulmonary vessels. So there's this deep relationship of being able to receive oxygenation into the heart and to be able to release from the heart into the lungs what's ready to be released. So let's just explore the sensation of connection of your heart and lungs. And recognize that your heart gets a little massage with every breath you take. not just from the lung expansion and condensement itself, which touches the heart, but also from the movement of the diaphragm. Remember that the attachment, the fascial attachment on the top of the diaphragm travels upward and surrounds the heart, okay, in this pericardial sac. So imagine that every time, and feel, not just imagine, that every time you move your diaphragm down and out and in and up, that you're massaging the heart, that the heart is getting a little bit of a tug and a little bit of a pull, and then a little bit of a release. Okay. So recognize both the energetics and the physicality of this part of your body. And now maybe step away from, the visceral aspect of us and move more into the energetic aspect. Can you melt in this area of your body? What is your sensation of compassion? What does the physical sensation of the emotional state of compassion feel like in you? Can you imagine that this feeling of love in your heart can expand and permeate through your whole being, beyond your skin, where we can feel our way into a loving connection to both self and others? And at the beginning of our practice, when we kind of commit to an intention for ourselves, can you let that expansive, loving, um, unconditional love feeling that you have, that you're cultivating, can you let it kind of be self-generating? That it's really something that you can give to yourself, that it's an unending well, that there's a stream of support in this kind of sensation that stems within, deep within, and also from outside you. So allow this to kind of turn and right in on yourself. So a lot of times when we think of compassion, we offer our energy outward to others. For now, just see if you can let it rise up within you and turn it back in towards self, worthy of this self-love. And whatever you are struggling with, can you give yourself grace, compassion, forgiveness, support, love, whatever is needed? Can you just let this turn toward yourself and give yourself what you would need, just what you do need, just like you would offer it to another? And keeping the heart space open, lift your hands toward your heart. Let let your hands stand just a teeny bit away from the chest and lift the heart toward the thumbs. Feel that upward, outward, expansive energy. And in this place, set an intention for you. Let's release the hands and find your way to your back. So as you come onto your back, let's enjoy just the simple act of changing position, where you're seated for a while. So let your legs stretch open and enjoy that. Reach your arms overhead and let's start to open up our sides. Remember, our lungs and our ribs are part of this heart chakra too. So let's feel that spaciousness in the sides of your body. Move your hips a little bit And throughout your whole practice, try to let the breath come uninhibited into your body and out of your body. And then draw your knees into your chest and let's rock a little bit, swaying. Okay. Hang on to the knees and give a couple of circles in one direction. A couple of circles in another direction. Notice if you stopped breathing. See if you can keep the rhythm of your breath, even though your attention may go elsewhere. And let's open up the knees away from the middle and bring them back towards. So you just have this nice feeling of awakening and opening in your hips. And then right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground. Roll around in your ankles and feet and say good morning to them. Let your head be restful, your shoulders are relaxed. And then take that right knee, cross it left. Feel free to put a block underneath your right knee if that's more supportive for you, and open up across your chest. Of course, enjoy the twisting of the spine, but focus your attention on your pecs and your shoulder and your chest, and take a deep breath here. And then come back, bring that knee into your chest, round your spine, tuck your chin in. And then release to a star, stretching your limbs really wide. Let's roll your wrists and your ankles and feel the edges of your body. And then when your next exhale comes, draw your knees in, compress. Release your head down, your right leg down. Keep your left knee tucked in. And feel free to move around in your ankle, wiggling through your toes, feeling some freedom. Rest your shoulders, rest the back of your head. Feel a good sense of mobility, breathing deeply. And then let's cross the left knee over to the right. Feel free to put a block under there so you're restful. Pay attention to your chest and feel free to move your arm around a little bit. You don't have to be static in this pose. Big breath into your lungs. Let all your air out. And then expand one more time to a star on the ground, reaching your limbs wide. Draw your knees into your body and then roll to your side and come to your hands and your knees. As you find your way up onto all fours, let's invite some movement in your cat-cows. All right, so your spine is starting to find its spaciousness. See if you can ripple through your vertebrae. Of course, even though we've talked about the heart and the lungs, the thoracic spine kind of travels right through this area of your body and is very much a part of us physically being able to keep our heart center open and free. Okay, so sense into your shoulder blades and that thoracic spine. Sense into your collarbones and your sternum and just notice what's here. And then move around any way you want. You can wag your tail, do some circling of your pelvis or your ribs. See what it feels like to move your neck around. Okay, just letting things loosen up. All right, take your right foot straight back behind you. Cross it over, turn and look at your foot. Breathing into that side body. And then back to center, left leg back, curl toes under, open your calf, cross that left leg to the right and turn to look at your foot. Big breaths into your sides, open up those bottom ribs a little bit. And then back to center. Stretch back to a child's pose and open up through your shoulders. Feel a sense of drop in your pelvis. Feeling that full sense of space in your spine. Feel your breath. Let your ribs move as you breathe. Okay, walk the hands to one side Feeling that openness through your shoulder all the way down to your hip, maybe from hands to your hip. Breathing deeply. And back to center. Open up the other side, feeling that reach through your body. Full breaths here. All right, and then come back to center. Let's move the spine around a little bit. Wag your tail. And let's do just a couple rounds of some rib cage rolls. So ribs down, over to the side, up, over to the other side, and back down. So you're just kind of mobilizing your thoracic spine and your rib cage. Make sure you're breathing. And then do a couple of passes in the other direction. Notice I didn't say which way to go first, left or right, or counterclockwise, clockwise. So notice where you naturally led, what you naturally led with. Okay. Come back to neutral. Let's find a twist. Reach your arm up in the air. Exhale, drop your shoulder down. Find your breath. Remember all that relationship between your spine, your ribs, your heart, your lungs, your diaphragm. Right. Face the ground a little bit. Let's stretch our shoulder a little bit more here. So wide collarbones, facing the ground with your chest, maybe your hips drop back a little bit more toward your heels. And inhale and bring that arm back up in the air. Hand down, switching sides. Other side up. And drop your shoulder down. Threading the needle, let your head relax. Enjoy the open breath here. And let's remember to face the ground now. Collarbones broaden, stretch the shoulder a little bit. You can drop your hips back toward your heels if you like. Breathe. And inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand down onto the ground. And let's lift our way to a dog pose. Okay, so let's take some time pedaling your feet. Dropping one heel, bending your knee, switching sides, just kind of finding the legs a little bit. Our focus today is not going to be so much on the legs, so when we have an opportunity to really open them and feel them, be here with that. Yield, push, and reach. Find your breath. And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relaxing your skull, bending your knees as much as you need, dropping weight into your feet well. Inhale for a halfway lift, lifting the sit bones, thighs up and back. Spread your feet. And exhale and melt again. Let your head relax. Push through your feet, rising up. Bring the arms to the sky, feeling that sense of openness in your heart. Let's cactus. Open your chest, spread your wings. Exhale, round in, chin to chest, forearms to touch. Inhale, up. One more time, cactus, open the heart, lift the heart, drop the elbows, give a good squeeze to the back of your body, and then squeeze the front of your body. Open up your shoulder blades. Rising up, find your breath, interlace your fingers, stretch your arms up, lift your ribs up. Feel that extension, a little bit of a lean back, not much. And then exhale. And lower your body back down. Start to feel the awakening that's happening within you. Remember to stay connected to your breath. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up the body. Exhale, melting back down. Step back to a dog. Feeling all that space. Ground yourself. Push and yield.
Find that balance. First we drop into the earth and then we push away. Open up the breath here. Let's come forward into a plank. Notice the shoulder blades. Drop them down your back. Widen your collarbones. Feel that you have a lot of support of muscles around your torso, but it doesn't mean that you have to hunker the heart up into your body cavity. Broaden your chest. Widen your shoulder blades. Root through your index finger mounds. And then we'll put our knees down to the ground and find the earth. Do a couple of shoulder rolls here, feeling those shoulder blades stabilize on your back now, dropping them down. Inhale to a cobra. Exhale. It's so easy to hold the breath at the top of that pose. Let's remember not to do that. Elbows back, inhale. Rising up when the exhale rises, that's when you lower down. Okay. Put your hands underneath your head for a moment and let's stabilize your core. So a little work in your glutes. We're not like tucking really hard with our tailbone, but there's engagement in our glutes. There's engagement in our core. Okay, so we're not squeezing our butt cheeks together, but engaging them. Okay, take a deep breath in, lift your right leg up, and see what kind of stability you can get with using your core. And then relax that. And let's change sides and find the other way, the other leg. Nice and stable through your core. Okay, so we're not letting that leg lift without our core supporting it. Release that leg down. Let's take our legs a little bit wider now. Turn your toes out so you're on your inner kneecaps and lift both legs. Feel those glutes engaging. Find your breath. Exhale and relax. Put your knees back to neutral. Give them a little bit of windshield wipers. All right, and then we'll come back up onto all fours. Wiggle around in your spine, wagging your tail a bit. And then let's take a bird dog. So left leg straight back behind you. Pulse your leg a couple times. Integrate your core in this so that you feel the work of your glutes and your hamstrings, but they're not isolated. They're in concert with your core. And then your right arm out in front of you. Press the ground away. Deep breath in. As you exhale, elbow and knee come underneath. Try to steady yourself in there, in this. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to draw under. One more time. Inhale, nice and steady. Exhale. Come in. Reaching out. Putting your hand and your knee on the ground. Enjoy 4 points of contact, and then when you're ready, right leg lifts up. Squaring the hips, engaging your glutes, press your shin into the ground. Find your breath. Left arm joins, thumb up, toes down. Head is facing your eyes, face the ground, don't look forward. Deep breath in. As you exhale, elbow and knee underneath. Try to stabilize yourself, move slow enough. Minimize your wobble. Exhaling under with your elbow and knee, inhaling out long. One more time. Put that hand down onto the ground, that knee down onto the ground. Maybe a moment of a child, and then let's lift to a dog. Find your breath again. Walk your feet forward. Open up those glutes, open up your spine. Take your hands to the base of your skull. Heel of your hands at the base of your skull, draw down toward the ground and maybe a little tucked under. So you just stretch all those paraspinal muscles along your spine. Release your hands. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up here. Exhale, bend your knees. Raising up, trace down through the center. Have your hands to your heart, samastitihi, this equal balance pose. Keep the heart lifting. Draw the heads of the arm bones slightly back, draw your ears slightly back. Try to, if you tend to lean forward in your actions, which many of us do, see if you can purposefully draw the shoulders back and the head back. Okay, release the hands and stand in Tadasana, palms facing forward, and sense into the roots of your feet, that groundedness. Unlocking the pelvic floor, kind of sensing those chakras on the way up, the root chakra, the second chakra, the third, finding that sense of exploring stability in your lower body. When you get to the heart chakra, can you use that stability of your pelvis and your legs and your core to give you a sense of space and ease across your heart? Notice your diaphragm and let your body breathe. Can you expand through the heart space, front, back, sides, all around? What would happen if you met the challenge of today, whatever that challenge is that you're meeting today, with this kind of spaciousness and stability? Maybe it's a difficult conversation. Maybe it's a difficult task at work. Maybe it's just being able to read the news. Okay, can you do this with a sense of a spaciousness and an openness supported by the deep ground of your lower chakras? Inhale, rising up, lifting to the sky. Reach your arms open to the sky. Lift your heart. Can you welcome in? And then release your hands down. Let's step our right foot in front, left foot behind, hands on blocks. Let's just warm up your legs a little bit more, feeling the hip flexors stretch open, the hamstrings and glutes stretch open. So just finding this movement of breath and body. Put the back knee down for a moment. Feel your hands come up onto high blocks or onto your knee. Feeling that sense of stout, open heart, but there's a lot of support. Press your front foot down. Feel the stability of your legs, rising up with your arms. Big breaths here. And then release the hands down. Lift your back knee up off the ground. Switch sides. Back foot comes forward, front foot comes back. Let's warm up the legs here. Left foot is in front now, and we'll bend and straighten. Link up your breath to your movements. All right, place that back knee down. You can uncurl your toes or keep them curled, whatever feels stable for your legs. Maybe put your hands on higher edges of blocks. Maybe put your hands on your knee and just kind of find what keeps you stable. Remember your core. We're not sinking down. We're not compressing our lumbar spine. We're pushing our feet, our legs, our front foot, and our back knee into the ground. And then when you feel ready with that support, reaching upward. Open the heart with stable legs instead of collapsed legs. Keep the back of your neck free. Breathing deep. And then bring your hands back down onto the blocks. Lift your back knee up off the ground. Back foot comes forward, fold. A halfway lift. Let your air out. Push through your feet, rising up. Trace down through the center. Pause here in the open heart. You don't have to do extreme back bends to imprint an open chest. Sometimes we just need to remember, lift the heart, open the heart. Okay, let's step our left foot back, plant your heel down onto the ground. Swoop your arms down, lean forward, palms facing the ground. Engage your back muscles. Triceps are engaged, spinal muscle or the muscles are engaged, core is engaged. Root into your feet. And then inhale and rise up to Virabhadrasana 1. Lengthen upward, reach through your spine, come off of your hips, grounding the legs, and lift off your pelvis. Can you feel the open heart here? Release your hands, back foot comes forward, fold. Step your other foot back, left is in front now. Ground your back heel. Root both legs, arms coming back, palms facing the ground. Engage. Maybe even pulse your arms a little bit so you know what your back muscles feel like. Drop your shoulder blades down. Engage your triceps. Support with your core. Press into your legs. Swoop up when you're ready. You don't have to interlace your hands. You absolutely can. You might be leaning forward a little bit more or keeping your arms wider or back. Kind of find what gives you stability and support to have that open heart. Right? The legs are grounded, the core is engaged. We're reaching off our hips. Big breaths. Hands come down. This time we'll step back to a dog pose. A long spine, a deep breath. Take your legs a little wider. Let your breath travel through your torso all the way to your pelvis. And then feet back to neutral. Come forward into a plank. Push the ground away and feel your shoulder blades broaden. And then widen and melt the heart space while you're here. All right. Come down to a child's pose for a moment. Just check in with your back. How are you doing? We've done a couple of back bends now. So just kind of sense into how your body's handling it. Remember that, Vera 1, Virabhadrasana 1, is absolutely a strong back bend in the body. Cobra, I mean, there's things that we do often. So just notice the impact. Make sure that you're stable in your low back, that you aren't feeling an imprint of something negative from back bends. We want these postures to feel really good in our body. All right, we're going to come onto our back and find our way to a bridge pose. Okay, so you can put a block between your thighs if you like that sense of stability. Okay. Otherwise, you can have no block. So we're going to ground the four corners of our feet well. And before we, stay, let's just do a couple of practice runs of noticing this. So turn your palms up toward the sky and do the same roll with your upper arm bones. Imagine that you had palms in your upper arm bones that want to turn toward the sky as well. And then lift your hips and notice your shoulders. See if you can keep grounding your arms just like we grounded our legs. And then lower back down. Okay. And let's practice that one more time. Roll the hands open, roll the biceps open, press your shoulders down, your arms down, root your feet, hips coming up. And then relax. And now focus on your feet for a moment. Ground the four corners of your feet. And when we lift up, there's a lot of stability in our arms and legs. So take the places that are rooting into the ground and give them some weight. You can take your hands underneath you and interlace your hands if that's comfy for your shoulders, or you can just climb onto the tops of your shoulders and keep your arms the way we just had. Palms up, root down. Root into the four corners of your feet. Make sure your neck is not feeling trials. You want to have a sense of the back of your head having a little weight, not your neck. Lift your heart. Expand your chest open. Root your feet and your arms to give you the stability. Keep your knees in line with your hips. Breathing. And then relax and release your pelvis back down. Okay. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. You could go so many different directions with back bends here. But we're going to go in a little more supported of a direction. You know, you could do full wheel poses, you could do a camel pose, you could do, I mean, there's so many back bends, but sometimes I think it's really important for your heart to soften into expansion instead of push. So we're going to practice more restorative back bends in the sequence now. So grab your blanket. And you can always use two blankets if you prefer for this. We're gonna create a round bolster. So open your blanket like this, okay? And then roll it. So if you're feeling really open and your back loves back bends and you feel like you can handle it, you can roll two blankets together. If one blanket is too much, you can use a towel instead of blanket. You can have a block under your head or not. Okay, so take whatever support you need. We're going to do all three positions of this. So if you need a block goes under your head. If your head is okay tipping back, then that's fine too. We're going to start with this roll blanket underneath our shoulder blades, kind of at the spine of the scapula. So if you're not sure where that is, just feel like the heaviest, thickest part of the scapula. That's where you want this bolster to be, not on the tops of the shoulders and not on the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, but kind of in the heart of your shoulder blades. And then let's put your feet grounding or legs straight, your choice, and stretch your arms overhead. Okay. Sometimes I hold a block to do this to give myself a little space between my hands. You can interlace your hands, you can press your palms, you can interlace your fingers and press your palms. I mean, there's so many variations you can do with your arms and your legs. So kind of find what works for you. All right, so once you're here, notice yourself and breathe. This is counter to so much of the actions we do during the day. When do you do this in your day versus hunched over, which we do all day long on our computers, on our phones, on our steering wheels, over our desks, curled into our beds, on our sides with our chest curled in, leaning over and cooking, leaning over and cleaning, leaning over and gardening. I mean, we do so much on the regular where we're collapsing our chest. So let's enjoy the breath here. Okay, and we're going to walk the blanket down a notch. So make sure when you drop it down, you are still under your shoulder blade, but now we're on the bottom part of our shoulder blade instead of the heavier, bigger part of our shoulder blade. But we are still on ribs and shoulder blade. Never ever put something in your low back. Okay, so You want bones to support you. You want ribs and shoulder blades to support you, not just your spine. Now, same thing applies. You can straighten your legs, you can bend your legs, you can Supta Baddha Konasana your legs. You can have your arms up, cactus, bound, anything that feels good. So take the variation that makes you feel good. Does your head still need to be supported or maybe not? Just see what feels good. Once you get to a comfortable place, accentuate your breath. Let all those new little nooks and crannies in between your ribs open up. Feel your thoracic spine open up. Feel your ribs find some spaciousness and bring yourself into your breath. Keep your head relaxed. How often do you do a pose like this? Is it only when someone reminds you, oh, this is a good thing to do? Or is it something that you try to incorporate on the regular? And let's bend our knees, roll to your side for a moment, round your spine a little bit, and just let your body rest before we do the third position. If you have a big inflatable ball that you like sit on, a big bouncy ball, great thing to do a back bend over. Okay, so always different choices to find that supportive back bend. Now we're going to do the third position. So come back onto your back, but this time the blanket is going under your pelvis. We do this position more often with a block, but today use that rolled blanket. And then let's see what it feels like to straighten your legs. If that's not okay for your back, try one leg bent with your foot on the ground, one leg straight with your heel on the ground. If you're doing both legs, you can take your legs wider, you can take your legs more narrow, just kind of find what works. And same, even though it may not seem important, maybe try bringing your arms overhead. It will give more extension through your body. Right, so remember those psoas muscles. Breathe into your pelvis and your low belly. Even though this may not feel like it's a heart opener anymore, it's definitely still within the realm of opening the front body, resetting that sense of space in your heart. All right, let's put our feet on the ground. Lift up your hips, get rid of that blanket. And let's start with a twist. Move your hips over to the right. Knees come up and drop left. Feel your body breathe. Melt into this. Be gentle in that ease. Turn your head. Even though those restorative back bends may feel like, oh, they don't require much effort, they are big, big poses for the body. So let's enjoy releasing from them. Come back to center, feet on the ground. Let's scoot our hips the other way, knees up. Drop your knees to the right, chest opens to the left, turn your head left. We just kind of moved some pretty major tectonic plates in our body, right? And, there's a lot that happens when we open up the thoracic spine and the chest. So give yourself some time to soften from it. All right, coming back to center. Right foot on left knee or right thigh over left thigh. Reach and grab your shin or calf, whatever you're holding to draw in. And as your arms come forward like this, let it also soften and melt your breath in your ribs and take a deep breath. Empty a deep breath. All right, expand open to a star. And draw your knees in, head comes up. And we'll put that right foot on the ground. Cross left foot on right knee or left thigh over right thigh. Grab what you're grabbing with your knee, shin, calf, hamstring, whatever you're grabbing. And then draw that towards your chest. Relax your head back down onto the ground. All right, relax that one more time. Starfish on the ground. And draw your knees in. And roll to your side. Come up onto all fours. Wiggle your spine around. Maybe a bit of a cat-cow. And then we'll actually do a dog pose before you sit. Stretch open your glutes and your hamstrings a moment. So just open up your body to a full back body opening. And then we'll come to sit for a moment. So either in Virasana on a block or Sukhasana on a bolster or blankets or a block, whatever position. We won't be here so long, but just a couple of minutes. So be in a position of comfort. And just notice your heart space. Let your breath travel in your body. Turn your palms open. And just like in the beginning, we were having this feeling of loving kindness towards self. Let's see if we can generate that heart-centered space again. This Anahata, unstruck. Remember, that's the deep seat of our loving compassion, our ability to trust in the goodness of life. With this pure heart, this pure, open heart, let's offer this grace and love outward now. Wherever you'd like to send your loving kindness. We're not going to do a traditional full tongue Glen. Wherever you want to send your loving kindness. Could be one person, could be a plant that you're nurturing, could be the world itself, it could be a country, it could be, children everywhere, anything at all that you'd like to offer. Remember that you're breathing in prana, that this is a renewable resource. You're not generating the loving kindness from yourself. You're generating it from the prana flow of your body and mind and spirit. A completely renewable resource. Just tap in to the source of your breath, the source of your love. And let it flow through you, out from you. And then when you're ready, let's relax a moment. come out of this position and come to lie down on your back. And as we prepare for Shavasana, make sure that you feel comfort and ease in your body. Breathing deeply as you come to find rest. Remember that we're feeling a sense of ease in our body. So any support that you need, can you feel the sense of the renewal of prana? Remembering that this heart chakra doesn't just govern our feeling of love and compassion, but it governs this renewable resource of prana. So breathe in the love, breathe in the energy that you need, ask for what you need, receive what you need. And just let your body be in the state of flow. Melt into the earth and let it receive you, hold you, support you. And let's find any gentle movement that you'd like to start, kind of returning back to the exterior. Come slowly onto your side. Take your time. Small movements, big movements. Eventually pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Let's see if we can make a intention for the day today to just keep the heart space open and notice what you notice when your heart is free. Are you more welcoming to the world? Is the world more welcoming to you? Do you have a capacity that's different when you keep your heart open? So pay attention through the day. Okay, bring your hands to your heart and bow in.
Namaste. All right, thank you.